Hello, I'm Milan Levinsky and this is Military Mind. Armed conflicts, defense and security, land, sea and air. We've got you covered. Overnight, Russian forces launched 141 drones across Ukrainian territory, according to Ukraine's air defense. 93 of the incoming UAVs were successfully intercepted and destroyed. No casualties or injuries have been reported by authorities following the attack. In the Kharkiv region, however, Russian forces dropped 3 aerial bombs, wounding 2 civilians and leaving them in critical condition. Meanwhile, Russia also saw aerial attacks overnight, with Ukrainian forces targeting industrial facilities in Kazan. While no casualties or damage have been reported, authorities temporarily suspended flights at nearby airports due to safety concerns. On the front lines, the situation near Pokrovsk remains dire. Russian forces are now just 3 kilometers away from the city, encircling it from multiple directions. In addition to that, Russian troops have advanced to within 5 kilometers of the Dnipro region, cutting off key supply routes critical to Ukraine's defensive efforts. Ukrainian sources are reporting that as Russian forces withdraw from certain positions, they are deliberately destroying Ukrainian vehicles and armored equipment, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. This tactic appears to be enabling Moscow to shift the focus of its military operations deeper into Ukraine, with Dnipro emerging as a potential target for further escalation. Along the border of the Dnipro region, Russian troops are ramping up assaults on the village of Velika Novosilka, making significant progress towards the border of the neighboring region. Turning to the Middle East now, Israel announced a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. This follows the Israeli side receiving a list of hostages for exchange from Hamas. The truce was previously expected to begin earlier. However, Hamas failed to comply with the agreement and did not provide the list of hostages to be released. According to the IDF, this was actually the reason why the truce was delayed. The afternoon of the 19th of January saw the first exchange of Israeli hostages for Palestinian prisoners, with Hamas releasing 3 Israeli women who had been kidnapped from the festival on the 8th of October. The group handed over the hostages to the Red Cross in Saraya Square in Gaza City. A huge crowd gathered there celebrating the ceasefire and the exchange, which they see as a victory for the Palestinians over Israel. And we open today's episode with a startling video revealing a grim Russian strategy, deploying injured or disabled soldiers on the battlefield. According to Ukrainian activist Serhiy Sternenko, these troops are used as distractions to draw Ukrainian attention, allowing able-bodied forces to advance with less scrutiny. The cruel tactic highlights the desperation and disregard for human life within the ranks of the Russian military. Reports indicate a significant rise in such deceptive tactics over the past 6 months. This aligns with broader Russian losses, forcing commanders to adopt increasingly unconventional and morally questionable methods to sustain their offensives.
Российские воины так вот у нас ходят на фронт.
Причем после доктора, блядь.
За место госпитализации идем дальше воевать.
Ай?
Воды?
Воды.
Там это вот.
Там и в этом вода есть.
Вот. На костылях, с палками. Непонятно.
К тебе чего?
Воевать идут.
Also, you can see the deficiencies in equipment. 1 crutch and 1 stick, because, well, Russian healthcare, I guess. Anyway, we're moving on to the next one, and in this clip from the Toretsk front, you'll be able to see a Ukrainian tank from the 28th Separate Mechanized Brigade delivering devastating fire against advancing Russian assault troops. In the industrial zone, a fierce firefight erupted as Ukrainian defenders, outnumbered by Russian forces, held their ground. The arrival of the brigade's tank turned the tide, dismantling Russian positions with precise and relentless firepower. The Toretsk area has witnessed some of the most intense urban warfare on the Donetsk front. Ukrainian tank units, often operating in tight coordination with infantry, have become a critical component in defending industrial zones and urban landscapes in the region. And if that wasn't enough, it's time for another gripping video. This time offers a rare first-person perspective from action cameras worn by Ukraine's military intelligence operators. The footage showcases their tactical prowess as they navigate varied terrain, engage Russian troops with precision fire, and successfully capture prisoners. Each operation underscores their meticulous planning and unmatched skill on the battlefield. These operators often work alongside other Ukrainian units, leveraging advanced reconnaissance and direct action tactics.
Плюс починаємо рухатись. Швидше, швидше.
Мухай туда. Просовывай, давай.
Жека, давай муху!
Гань.
Давай, тур!
And in the closing video, you'll be able to witness the 5th Omega Special Unit in action as they repel a Russian assault using the powerful Javelin anti-tank missile. Despite its considerable weight and the physical strength required to operate it, the Javelin has proved indispensable for mobile squads, delivering devastating precision against tanks and armored vehicles. Operators from the Omega unit are trained to work in small, agile teams, specializing in anti-armor warfare and rapid maneuvering. Their ability to blend into the terrain while executing high-stakes missions ensure they remain a formidable and often unseen force on the battlefield. In fact, the missile is so iconic that it has spawned a brand of apparel, Saint Javelin. You might have heard of them. And with this, we conclude this episode of Military Mind. Please stay with us here on TVP World for more latest news and updates.